The game akin was one of the best games of virtual reality until it is disregarded. He was never surpassed by other game becoming legendary, but on the day the servers were turned off, a news program was on TV informing that the Sir of the company, production Cosmo creator of the popular game, Akana had disappeared, and precisely with this news something strange happened. Shauna appeared in the real world, and in reality, everyone appears doing, with which the monsters of the games also come to appear in reality. Many thought the world was in need, but then people, synchronizable own characters, game and players could not only use game skill as well as being able to defeat the monsters and save the world, making them become heroes. Lee Royal was a player who had created a character called Granfield when he was still a child, and he decided to become a player too, but noticed that even after synchronizing with his powers, he didn't become so strong like the others, so he started to remember his past, realizing that at that time the cost of buying one virtual reality machine was 10 million of one, and even rent a of these machines cost hundreds of thousands of men per month, and with the collapse of his father's business, he could bear more of these costs. When seeing your father desperate for not being able buy a reality machine of yours, sister tried to calm him down, saying no, there was a problem not being able to play some games, but his mother is very sad because she believed that the keeper was her, because not being able to help them when they see their mother crying. You realize something was wrong with her, and discovers the sinister real-life reality, so he doesn't have choose not to leave Akana early. But if he had known that all this would happen, he would never have left the game, and would have found a way to continue playing, since Royal didn't have played for even a year. Its level and its stats were very low, reaching only level 55, and he doesn't even. He thought Hesperia as a character who he had created 10 years ago during the Your Purity is the story of your Granfield character is as follows. Granfield was an heir to Grand family, but a terrible demon massacred all his family members, with only him being the only one survivor, and to seek revenge for tragedy that befell his family, he decided to become a hunter of demons. However, Royal realizes that this story is more childish and without sense than any other she had already created, so he believes that this other personality that he invented, and which may have been influenced by some experience from your past, obscure possibly when he was in elementary school, and now as an adult, he sees this memory as funny and embarrassing at the same time, because the character spoke strangely and everything he said came out completely distorted. When watching the news on TV, RO realized that other people say no, there's a lot of difference in becoming a player and synchronize with character game, because most of them say that this experience is not so different. However, for Royal this experience was totally new and unique. Royal realizes that he can't work anywhere like that, and realizes that there is no choose not to work as a player, because from now on his name will be Granfield. However, he doesn't remember much of Akana except for his memoirs 10 years ago, and after researching a little on your computer, Granfield cannot be found lots of information about what it is necessary to become a player, and when researching a little more, discover that ranked players receives a huge amount of money for clearing high-level breaches, reaching hundreds of millions of men. However, GRF realizes that for him the life is more important than money, and therefore this information is Inuit, since he has no greed for material things, and for this reason he will need to take a look at what demon hunters do nowadays. When searching for Grant, you only find 2 pages, leaving him frustrated, so he wonders if the demon hunters do nothing, because after deleting these 2 pages of the only remaining articles and news, so he can find a news reporting that last night all demon hunter NPCs in the city of Asken were killed, and the authority of the Federation of Healers to 3 a.m. on the 30th. Identified 152 dead then, and it was informed that there was no surviving because there was the only city to become a demon hunter, and there was also the holy land of the demon hunters. Grant gets scared in disbelief, but it wasn't because no one played with this class, but because she had basically been deleted 10 years ago. There was no many demon hunters because I had vast statistics, but I was also a strange gaming career choice, since the other team players powerful ability, and contrary to that, hunters had more skill, weak, making it deuce hard for them advance in level just by hunting the monster because they needed to dedicate themselves to carry out daily missions. How to deliver bread to get. I predicted that's why they were highly dependent on experience obtained by performing these missions to gain levels. However, when tried to face demons, they were incomparable with other O classes. The problem is that these demons only appeared in specific hunting missions to demons, and most of these quests was known for demanding that players did repetitive farming, and this game mechanic made the class of senseless demon hunters for many people, moving them away from this. Choose the players accordingly. Used to mock those I chose this class, considering it useless. Grant realized that there is a difference between a class be considered useless and the inability to advance to the next class. This becomes even more problematic because all PCs that taught skills now they are more, and researching a little more, see a game update stating that new demons have been added to update. When analyzing this update, Grant realizes that it is impossible to bear with the presence of demon among the monsters, and the bottom number among the players increases significantly due to the buff released by demons called near mental battalion and possession, and even level players 200 are suffering from the effects of these additions. Grant starts to wonder if there were no more demon hunters in the real world, and that maybe he is the only one demon hunter left after the Asken fall, and if that were the case, he has who deal with the task of eliminating them alone, even though he is 10 years old. Delayed, but there is no confirmation. May the demons he knew be even though they appeared now after all 10 years. It's plenty of time for things to change, including in the game where even high-level players are facing difficulties, and the situation is uncertain and worrying for Grant because he will now face a daunting challenge. An unknown. Grant comments that none temptation or insult thrown by demons will be able to hurt your imposing pride, and he will be determined to face these creatures and ensure that they are all sent back to hell. Several years later have passed since the great disaster. Many things were destroyed, but people were able to rebuild their lives, and life returned to the streets, quickly adjusted to a new world. However, where the light, also the darkness, and people's negative emotions adapted to the new world and became perfect food for demons. What a group of players did not know that there was one of them among them possibly being possessed by a demon. After check your cell phone, the group leader of players realizes that it was almost at time to begin the mission you were given. Then the other players start to comment that the last member of the group, it's late, but Sheelan asks for it. Let them wait a little longer because there is still about 1 minute left before the scheduled time. As soon as he finishes talk to her, Vista Grant approaching, and Xiaoman warns everyone that the last group member finally arrived. Grant for the first time a rupture realizes, which is how the players see them, and he also note that normal people do not are affected by ruptures, which makes realize he would be like her if he didn't had awakening of his powers at the analyze. Well, Grant realizes that the rupture gives access to the underground warehouse of nodes, and the recommended level is 35 to 40, and as his level is 55, he concludes that it won't be a bad place for him to hunt already, which is above the recommended level 4. That area he also remembers having researched the average number of players who were entering the breaks, and it stays surprised to find it was 200 level that he can't even understand at the moment because he was far above of his, and he knows that it will be necessary if try hard to keep climbing level, but he is happy to realize that high-level players are not the only ones who awaken that allowed him find a group with a similar level to your. Xiamen begins to explain that, considering the rate of progress of return, he believes that another group has already came in, but they did too. Will enter, he asks everyone to come. Get ready because you will enter in about 5 minutes, then everyone agrees on the plan, ready to face the challenge. As a team, when the Graph looks at the rate of rupture progression, remember that as soon as the progress of destruction reaches 100% rupture, if breaks, the monsters are released into the world real. Therefore, the players are currently authorized to invade the breaks freely, knowing that just they have the ability to get closer of this time bomb. While the Agadors were talking, Xiaomi draws their attention by informing them that it was time to break. But before entering, Xiamen question, everyone is aware of the type of monster, which is a channel, so the players respond affirmatively, saying that they fought against them before, and comments that will be easy to finish as long as everyone remain vigilant. Grant decides not say nothing because it's your first time in a rupture and prefers to observe and learn from the experience of others. Players, when entering the break, a message appears informing them that they are in the underground pipe warehouse. By exploring the Alum, players a little comments that just by name she has seen no pipes. What does Zomi do? Suspect that another group has already passed by her there before, and he reassures everyone by saying that if find the right route, manage to find the Kanas and accomplish the mission. However, they advanced a little more. Chelman sees a group of pipes just ahead and asks everyone prepare for battle before players can do something. Chelman runs towards the Kanas. Then, excited, the rest of the group leaves, running after him. Grant watches the formation of the group and comments that alongside has a tank, 2 curing dillies, achieves, and a sorceress, a combination quite common. However, he notes that the tank is acting offensively, irritating the Monchos instead of protecting the group. Meanwhile, the attack dials was taking on most of the defense, and the Enchantress was causing the greatest part of the damage. This dynamic seems fine, strange for Gramp, and he starts to doubt whether this is the way people they usually play these days. Once that 10 years ago, the group strategy, it was totally different. Gramp decides, do nothing if you feel useless. Powers are effective against demons. Sorceress Jung comments that the time of wait for buff D-2 almost finished, and D asks Aminia wait a little because he was facing many Monchos at the same time. Grand Phi anal time with your inventory. Realizes that it only has a bow and some silver arrows besides a dagger. He note that he doesn't have a really unique weapon, and decides to fight as little as possible until suddenly finds something better. Arrow comes towards him, but he manages to dodge quickly and realizes who are being surrounded by Canis. He warns other players that at a ambush behind a pillar, and the players defend bravely, but the number of cans is very large and they cannot maintain themselves for long. Joe starts shouting angrily, asking because Zio was abandoning and he didn't came back to help him, but in this Shoy moment lets his guard down, and one of the Khan note approaches to eliminate him, but Grab quickly saved Cho in shooting a straight arrow in the canoe or eliminating, but the battle is not yet. It's over because there are 2 more kennels moving forward towards Jang, leaving AE horrified, not knowing what to do. Gran Theo asks her to calm down because he will take care of those who approach. So he asks her to prepare the strongest spell you have, even if take a little time for Lon. Release it as Jong starts to cast a spell on other players. Ask if she was near. Launch it since the monsters are all together. She warns that it was almost ready. Then a few seconds later she asks everyone to be careful because she will cast her fire arrow spell. so she can get it right and fill all the cannons, causing finally eliminate the action of Jang and Grant's help are for the group. Ambush granted their victory in this battle. G asks if Grant was okay, and he says yes, asking that she takes care of the other members of her group. Meanwhile, Grant addresses the bodies of the cannons and realizes that he can retrieve his arrows, and Jong gives a healing potion for Sung Vuk, who was badly injured due to attacks by Kennels. Jo goes after Xiaoman, wondering what the hell he was doing, leaving them there alone to dying. He wonders if Xiaoman doesn't see the cannons hidden and accuses him basically having taken to a trap, and when asking for an explain, Xian starts to smile darkly and asks why she is sweeping and if thinks it's funny to see them almost dying to the canyon. Suddenly all the lights went out. A race, and Xiaoman in a demonic way starts to say that of course it is very funny how it can't be funny to see a bunch of idiots suffering in front of you in the presence of everything. This Grant realizes that his skill natural enemy is being activated and that your fighting power will increase quickly when fighting a demon. Then he says that Zomi is actually a demon disguised, and Jogi asks, what do you mean he is a demon? And Song Vuk asks what Grant was talking about and how so Xian can suddenly be a demon. Everyone around him disappears, leaving if Guvuk desperate, wondering where all him everything ended. Then later on, the others appear, killed by Zhang, screaming in despair, asking for your help. Soon a message appears informing that the demon was even observing his mentality was too low, so he starts screaming, ordering Ch not to approach him, and smiling Xian says they were getting together, trembling in fear of the illusion they themselves had dreamed. Then he begins to say that humans are so, but before that if a man can finish talking, Grant moves so quickly the hitting, but he manages to defend the attack and ask why Grant doesn't. It mattered that this human died, so he says that if he eliminates it from that body, human will also die together. Grant thinks he can't get through armor of this creature. Then he says that he will aim for the gap, so when he attacks again after grounding me, counterattack, GRF manages to deflect the hitting him in the back, but he doesn't manages to penetrate the armor again. But Grant attacks again, and when he was about to hit him, Xiaoman says that humans are so fake that Grant he was so good friends with Xian, it seems that he doesn't care if he dies or no. But Grant finally hits it in the face, him leaving SH screaming desperate, if wondering how he got cut by human and the weapon he was using. It was a silver Grant gun approaching of Shelm and shot the demon so as not to talk to him, because he doesn't talk to his prey when the Grant was in need. Eliminated, Zomi wonders where everything went wrong in his life, and he remembers when he was badly injured and his brother tried to help him by asking him to prevent dangerous ruptures, but I could give up on all this and go in to your guild as a Xiaoman analyst. Think he just didn't want to live anymore as a loser because everyone was proud his brother for being a great player, and Xiaoman comments that he just wanted to be a brother that his younger brother could needling, and it was at that moment that a demon offered him help, and when he accepted, it consumed his entire body, making him stronger. But the devil betrayed instead to help him, and he attacked his own Xian friends. Think he tried to resist, but it was in vain, and he had put everyone in danger. Granfio delivers numbers attacks on Zomi, revolving the demon of his body. Then the demon screams, desperate, saying how much it hurts, and he tells Grant that he is stupid because he eliminates, he will also kill his friend. He asks if Grant wants even become a killer, but Grant just watch. Then he says now he understands, and he asks Zaman if it was his pride, therefore the devil is grabbed by the real shaman leaving. He didn't understand what he was happening, so I finally grabbed the finally eliminates, freeing Xiaomi from demon. When he gets up, the others stay without understanding what had happened, and Xiaomi doesn't believe him and wonders, how did he leave? A demon possesses him. Then the others approach him and ask if he was fine. Then if he was shaking, he was asks how he was doing, given that he had been stabbed by Granf, but Granf tells him not to worry, because he was here, and the emotions negatives of human are that they can demons and not to be possessed by. They just be proud and not afraid of them, because the attacks of a hunter demons only affect the demon, and therefore, for this reason, he suffered nothing from his attacks. The other day Zaman shows a Zhang's post reporting what was there happened during the invasion of a rupture. Then Taney asked Xiaomi if I was asking him to believe that, as he himself is a guild leader, and only summon one person based on a post is a bit strange. So Xiaomin reveals to her brother who she had quoted in that post. It was actually he. Then Taney hears this without believe. Xian says he realized which it was his weakness, and thanks to that guy, now he knows what his true self was. Kmin Paper asks who was this person who had fought with just the dag at his side instead of spells, and that there were several classes of weapons, but he can't say which one. It must be his, because he doesn't understand. Because a guy went for a break. Specific considering your skills. Returning to Granf after eliminating that one demon, he goes up 20 level, leaving no believe because the kennels weren't worth much. And after he eliminated the demon, just made him go up 20 levels. Then excited he wonders how it will go. Divide all these points, and later he receives a message from Xiaomi inviting you to your brother's guild. But he buys this commendation that this message was too long and he will simply reject for now. Then he starts to see several videos about magic, so Xiaomin to watch. Gran Fai's answer is left without understanding, because she had rejected him, so he asks if Granf had received the offer from out guild. Kmin starts to scream, asking what do you mean another guild, because they are the #1 guild in Korea South, and that they had offered to. That guy has a house plus a car and all tax a division quota. Half the lotuses. Then he asks what Don violates guild that offers to be something better than that. Then Xiaomi comments, which may have been a foreign guide, for they had set up their offices here in Korea. So th me ask who would use to step on your territory, and 11 explains that if it is a foreign guild and that all better guides are in the if, and that maybe be one of them, then term that being. So he can't let ISO happens. Then he quickly asks Zami, as he deserves it, man, because he himself will go up to him to invite him before I steal this guy from them soon. He asks what he is like, and Xiaomin says that he looks like a very aristocrat, chic, and a fantasy novel. Then Terry doesn't understand how it existed. Someone like this would like to see how it works. Magi, he comments that he now understands the foundations of magic, and that when if you have a brother, are you sure that now can use them? Then he finally decides, change your status when you finish. He decides to rest a little, so he thinks it would be great if he won a gold coin, and another day GRF receive a notification, and when opening it, gets excited, commenting that this is better than a gold coin because it had received a class mission. Counterattack protocol. Guys, thank you to everyone who followed along. Here I ask you to leave a like and subscribe on the channel, as well as leaving a comment talking about if we continue with our new adventure. This helps a lot people continue producing our content. I thank all of you who stay until here, and see you next time. Why Adventure?